Alhamdulillah wa salatu wa salam ala nabiyyina Muhammad wa ala alihi wa sahbihi wa sallam. Amma ba'd. Habati fillah is a reminder to myself and my brothers and sisters of the importance of not being fooled by the dunya, being fooled by this worldly life, because there are so many things that we chase, so many things that we desire, so many things that we try to attain that often distract us from the akhirah, distract us and deceive us about the akhirah. So sometimes we prioritize those things in this worldly life, which is often chasing our pleasures, and we prioritize that over the akhirah, over the hereafter. And so I wanted to mention or read some athar of the Salaf that illustrates for us the importance of not being deceived by this worldly life. Aun ibn Abdullah, rahimahullah ta'ala, he said, Inna man kana qablina kanu yaj'aluna lid-dunya ma fadlu min akhiratihim. Wa innakum taj'aluna al-akhiratukum ma faddal an dunyakum. In this narration in Sifat Safwa, the third volume, page 71, it was narrated that Aun ibn Abdullah, rahimahullah ta'ala, he said, verily those who came before us, they used to make this life less in relation to the hereafter, meaning they gave more import to the hereafter. And verily you make the akhirah, the hereafter, your hereafter, less than the dunya. In this narration, it shows us how the Salaf were vigilant in their ibadah and worried and concerned about their hereafter. And that although this is from the pearls of the Salaf, that even the early generations were worried about being deceived by the worldly life. So how much more in our complex and complicated societies and ways of living and ways of thinking should we be concerned about our hereafter? We are so distracted. The world is so much more complex than the societies in which they lived in, and we have so many things to distract us from the worship of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and coming close to them. So we need to be concerned about our hereafter. Take time in your busy lives and your busy schedules to worship Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and do not let those things which you desire deceive you and take precedence over your hereafter. وَدَخَلُوا عَلَى الرَّجُلِ وَهُوَ فِي الْمَوْتِ فَقَالَ سخرت بي الدنيا حتى ذهبت أيامي. And this is in the Mawsu'a li Ibn Abi Dunya. So a man, they entered upon a man. Some of the Salaf, they entered upon a man and he was on his deathbed. And then he said, the dunya, this worldly life, has exploited me until my life has departed. Meaning that being deceived, this man was deceived by chasing something, maybe from his desires and the glitter of this worldly life, chasing fame, chasing fortune, chasing other things that please men, chasing those things. And now his life was over, when his life should have been spent chasing the hereafter. And this is a very important athar for us, because it shows us And it's a reminder on how this dunya deceives us, how the pleasures of this life, you can spend all of your time thinking about the perfect, for example, the perfect spouse or the perfect person, even if you're not thinking of them as a spouse, the perfect woman that you want to build or that's in your fantasies, the perfect man that's in your fantasies for the women, the amount of wealth that you wanted to attain and these castles and these things that you wanted to build, chasing that all with your dunya. And then one day we'll be on our deathbeds. So I like to reflect upon these kind of athar because they're a reminder that all of this is going to go. Even if you achieve some of that, it's going to go. Someone's going to inherit your wealth. All of those things are going to go. And one day you'll be sick. And you'll be in need of having strived for the hereafter. And maybe you'll have no deeds. Reflect on these individuals, some of the recent, it calls to mind the individual who was a friend of so many wealthy people and princes and kings and presidents and so on and so forth, a friend of Donald Trump and so on and so forth, that was accused or that was indicted, and he was imprisoned over rape charges. This was a billionaire. He could have had anything he wanted, and he did indulge in everything he wanted. He indulged. He got his dunya. He got his dunya. He achieved so many things that so many people wanted the dunya, and he did through any means, through evil means, and was convicted of being a type of pedophile or what have you. And he was imprisoned for that. He died committing suicide. With all his billions, it didn't save him. All of his status that he achieved in this dunya didn't save him. His friends abandoned him, and now they distance and say, oh, we didn't know he was doing this. We didn't know he was bringing young girls to all these other people, and he was basically prostituting or pimping them. We didn't know this. Everyone distanced from him. So he died in misery in this life, and now he lost totally his hereafter because he wasn't even a believer in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. But he believed in the dunya, and the dunya let him down. So it shows us how you can strive or even attain things in this life, but it may be of no benefit to you. A last narration I want to mention, this is a narration on Hasan al-Basri. قال Hasan al-Basri, rahimahullah ta'ala, Ya ibn Adam, bi' dunyaka bi akhiratuka wa turbihhuma jami'an wa la tabghiyanna akhiratuka bidunyaka fatakhsarahuma jami'an. And this is in Sifat Safwa as well. Hasan al-Basri rahimahullah ta'ala, he said, O son of Adam, sell your dunya for your hereafter. Sell your dunya for the hereafter, meaning use your dunya to gain the hereafter. And you will benefit in both of them. You will have a profit in both scenarios. So if you use this life to gain the good of the hereafter, you're going to benefit in both places. Both places you're going to find a degree of happiness, and especially in the hereafter. You'll benefit in both. And he says, and do not sell your hereafter for this worldly life, for your worldly life, for the things you're going to do in the world life, meaning compromising your religion, compromising the hereafter, and doing the good and doing the extra deeds that you need to do, and seeking forgiveness and seeking to draw nearer to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Do not compromise that in order to gain something in this worldly life, because then you will lose in both. Ahabati fillah, these are immense lessons from our Salaf-The, and we ask that Allah Tabarak wa Ta'ala, the Almighty, accepts our good and forgives our evil, and blesses us to be of those who learn from these lessons. Wa sallallahu wa sallam ala nabiyyina Muhammad.